Welcome to the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast. On today's show, we are joined by the wonderful Anna, a transformational coach and inner guide who helps working professional women who are emotionally exhausted and feeling trapped in the mundane break free from societal scripts. We will be diving into the heart of well-being, exploring how to cultivate lasting inner peace and happiness, even in today's fast-paced world. Anna shares her powerful journey from emotional exhaustion to empowerment and offers valuable insights on how we can break free from societal expectations to craft our own path to happiness. I hope you do enjoy the conversation for today. And if you would like to support Sacred You, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, or check us out at www.sacredyou, that's the letter U, .love for more valuable resources. May you have an incredible day. Welcome to today's episode of the Pathway to Wellbeing, and with me we have the beautiful Anna, who's joining us to talk about wellbeing and how we can cultivate lasting wellbeing. So thank you, Anna, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and thank you. And I said, I'm really excited to get to know you and to talk about how we can actually really go deeper than the surface, go beyond the surface of what we see, and to really cultivate that lasting well-being. So what I'd like to do is just to start off, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and what brought you. How did you get into the well-being field?
Yeah, well, for me, it all started way back in 2016, 14, when my son was born, and I felt like that I need more go into deep learning myself, learning my reaction, like my emotional side, because through my childhood, I was raised by emotionally absent mother, and I had not the best relationship with my emotions and with my inner world, I would say. So I started learning from that, and it involved into me coaching parents, leading support groups. But then we moved with my husband overseas, and I did not realize at that point how much I would give up from that, because when we moved, I thought, well, I just will continue what I'm doing, but online, and with people who is around. But then the COVID hit, then I was pregnant, then the war started, and I shifted once again far away from myself, and I found myself in a place where I would wake up with the thought of feeling deeply unhappy and watching our clock to see when this day will be over, hoping that someday will something change, some holiday will come and everything became better. But obviously it's not the case. And I start noticing that my state, my well-being influence my kids, my relationship with them. And I decided I need to take it under control and change it. And I started searching for different tools, different strategies, and they all seemed like missing something. So I started, through changing different tools and techniques, I saw like what the missing pieces, and it's like a puzzle come up to me in a full picture of what is this holistic well-being, how to see it, how to make so it lasts and not just for a few weeks or few months. And it helped me, it helped my clients, and I'm happy to share with you today about it and how to make this change in your life.
Absolutely, thank you. And I definitely want to go deeper. And let's just start right there. Like, for you, what does it actually mean to cultivate deep, lasting well-being, especially in today's world? You know, we are so bombarded by everything, technology and AI now and social media and everything that we're doing. And I personally feel since COVID, life has got much more quicker because we're pushing so much more in because it has become online. How can we cultivate or deep well-being for that? What does that mean for you?
Yeah. Well, for me, first of all, it's all starting from connecting with your inner self. Because in this demanding world, when we have a lot of expectation from our society, from our family, friends, relatives, what we should do, how we should proceed, how we should live, what expected from us, we forgetting to ask ourselves how we feel. Like pause for a second and ask what I'm feeling, what I want in my life. And when you start connecting with yourself, you see all the areas that need an improvement. And for me, deep lasting change, it's always change from within, from inside out. It's not from outside in. Because when you do from outside in, it a lot of times can land not in a right way, in not alignment with your true values. But when it emerges from within, and I'm true believer that we all have inner power and inner potential to live best lives we have. And when we arise this well-being from inside, from knowing what are my dark, so-called dark sides, what are my bright sides, how I can bring more of it to life, how I can embrace all of it in myself, how I can cultivate what is better, how I can improve, how I can become a better version than I was the day before. And it's always not comparing yourself to someone else, it's comparing yourself to yourself one day before. Even if I feel more happy today, if I feel more in alignment, if I feel more wealth in my body, in my environment, that's the markers that we are on the right path.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because we live in a world where we compare ourselves to so many people, to others so much. And I love that. It's all about how was I yesterday and how can I improve on it today. It's like that 1% factor, just improving ourselves 1% each day and letting that magnify. So thank you for sharing that. And then I know you mentioned a little bit about your life, especially before COVID and when you had a baby and everything else. But is there any other personal experiences that you'd like to share when you were trapped or felt trapped in society expectations, society stuff? And how did you overcome that?
I would say for me, it's a journey from my childhood because I always felt like this kind of kid that knows the truth and doesn't really good fit in society because I never cared what is trending in like fashion, what is trending in hobbies and so on. So I always knew my truth and it felt lonely, I would say, through childhood. And especially when my parents got divorced when I was 2 years old, and I never seen or heard my father since then. So the half of my inner support that should be in the place already was gone. And the other half, my mom, she was totally emotionally absent from her troubles, and I navigated all the stuff on myself. And while I was kid, I was always very empathic and open-hearted, and always provided a safe space for my friends to weigh and so on and so forth. But I expressed to my mom that I want to go in psychology field. I want to help people, and she said, "You're too empathic. You cannot go that field." And as a little kid, as a little girl, I believed it so much that when I graduated from school, I even did not thought about going in psychology. I ended up in software development. But I was lucky that navigating all, I was kind of attuned to my intuition. And I always heard this back thought, like, go get degree in psychology just for yourself, just for yourself. And I wish I listened right away because I gaining my degree in psychology right now when it's much harder and jungling two kids, home, work, but still it was like total disconnection. And I would say all this, partly I think that, well, I had a good life, like software engineer, at least in our country in Ukraine, it's like high paying job and what you can wish more. But when you feel unfulfilled inside, when you feel that it's like from outward perspective you have it all, but you do not feel like that, and you can go in a trap of guilt when you can hear something like, you have it all, why are you not happy? You just probably do not cherish enough what you have. Spend some time on gratitude, but being grateful for what you have and wanting more is two different things. And you can find yourself like feeling really in a trap when you do not feel fulfilled, but you cannot express because you won't be accepted with this point. So yeah, it's ongoing challenge, and I happy that I can overcome this and learn lessons and help others learn, because a lot of people do not have enough self-belief that they can overcome, and they can give up under the pressure, unfortunately.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'd just like to take a moment just to really honor you for sharing that and for helping others in their journey. And that, to having that deep self-belief about ourselves, is that like a reason why people will find themselves slipping back into old habits, even though they really want to change?
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's some low self-esteem, it's limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs can come in all shape and form, from past generation, from parents, from society, from culture, from what role you're playing in society. And it's hard to withstand this pressure and say, no, I am this, and this is my truth, this is how I want my life be.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And with your experience of working with others too, and your own experience as well. But what are some signs that people who, again, want to experience that deep, deep well-being in their lives, in all areas of their lives, and we need to go through all the areas too. What are some of the signs when we're only like at the surface and we can go so much deeper? Do you have any experience in that?
I would say, if you do not look deep inside, and I will elaborate a little bit what I mean by that. A lot of times, and in modern society, we have like this a lot of toxic positivity, like dream big, manifest what you want, explore what your dreams are, and this everything great. But if you have a lot of inner wounds inside, if you do not look inside deeply, truly honest to yourself, what are my desires? What are my fears? What are my beliefs? Like, and sometimes it takes like a lot of time and practice, and being open, being vulnerable, even for yourself. And it can be done through journaling. It could be done through different practices, meditations, sadhu boards, like whatever will work for you. But you can truly go inside by yourself, but especially easier it would be with guidance, with support, who can see the signs. And usually I would say the biggest sign I look for is, first, how honest, deep, big, and quick can person answer on a question, what your true desire for life, what you want from your life. Second, if there's stress or overwhelmed, it's probably there's somewhere unbalance. And third, I would say, if you do not have enough time for everything, because time is this like mystic concept where there is no such thing as a future past. There's ending now moment, and every single moment you choose how to spend your time. And time in like accepted form in our society will fly in any direction, but you can choose in what direction it fly. You can choose where you pour your time. And it could be even 5-10 minutes for yourself, but it would, as I always say, something is better than nothing. If you can spend 5 minutes singing a song out loud in your kitchen doing the dishes and it makes you happy, then it's better than not to do it. So yeah, I would say it's not enough time, it's low energy and not knowing what is your biggest like dreams, what I want deeply, true want, not from social perspective, like, oh, I should have like work, I should have family, but what are your true inner desires? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I love it, washing the dishes and dancing and singing, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Let's go into even more about well-being, Anna, because the podcast is Pathways to Well-being, and we cover all different areas. So, can someone experience well-being in one area, like physical well-being, but not the others? Or how do we bring it all into alignment? Do you have any tips and techniques where we can be aligned in all areas of well-being?
Sure. First of all, the most commonly known tool is the wheel, where you put like what assess each area, what is your current state, how you want. It's like very known tool, but the most important thing is to start taking actions on that. And I always take my clients through all ambers, as I name them, through environment, from body, from relationship, from mind, and from soul. Like we need to address these big areas because they cover a lot. Because a lot of times we can feel like, okay, I feel emotionally fit and health is great because I spend a lot of time going to gym, taking those programs, and but if I look around, my house is a mess. I do not have any friends or something like that. It would not feel like the true well-being. It would be just unbalanced well-being in one area. So we need to balance it out the way we feel true, because the truth is we cannot do the stationary, like make all areas at the same level at the same time constantly, because it's not life. Life is always a fluctuation, somewhere going up, something going down, but it's like living creature, our well-being. So we need to see what it needs right now, and it could be as simple as asking myself, okay, where I feel I need more support, where I feel like I waste too much energy on, and start noticing, start balancing out it. Because before you assess what you have and what you want to have, you cannot truly go all areas and achieve any like deep this inner well-being until you realize that it's always will change. It's just a matter of keeping your hand on the pulse and making sure that it's in harmony.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Is there any area in particular that someone who is like really out of alignment, right? And as you said, we can't focus on them all at once. That's not life. But if someone is really out of alignment, out of whack, and maybe not even well, is there any area that you would recommend on starting to really look at, and how do we do?
My answer would be probably a bit surprising, but one area that not a lot of us looking at it as area of well-being is our fulfillment and joy. Because when you feel low energy, when you feel dismotivated, when you do feel lost, you do not have enough power to make a sustainable change. And you need to focus on bringing joy in your daily life. And I'm all about micro changes and micro habits, especially in our fast moving world, when it's can be really hard to like spend 1 hour each day on focusing on your mind or something else. It's just especially if you are working, if you're a mom, you have a lot on your plate. not all of us can like leave everything and just focus on our well-being. We have life going on. So I am all about micro changes, and bringing joy and fulfillment in life is not that hard as many of us think, because you can do a little exercise that will have great impact in your life. uh, First, sit down and make a list of all small joys that you can do under 5 minutes. And they can be as listening to music, singing, watching in the window, taking a cup of tea, eating a candy, like whatever feels that will bring you joy and just improve your mood. Every single thing that comes up to your mind, small, tiny things. And the next thing that you want to do is to see where in your day you have small pockets of time. Like when I'm ready, before I head to work, I have like 5 minutes. And most of us nowadays, like, oh, what can be done in 5 minutes? And be scroll our phones. Oh, I'm stuck in a traffic. What can I do? I'm scroll my phone, or like just be frustrated that everyone's moves move slowly. Use those time pockets to fill in with that joys. Because 5 tiny joys throughout the day, every single day, would be much greater impact on you than 1 hour a week.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing that, because I personally believe that our purpose in life is to experience joy. And that's it. That's, no matter what the challenge, the reason why we're here in this world is to overcome or go beyond all the challenges and experience joy in everything that we do. And that would also bring us, well-being in all areas as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and joy, like why I say that we need to focus first on joy and fulfillment, because when you feel joyful, when you feel fulfillment, your energy level rises. You start seeing new opportunities. You start feeling motivated to make a change, impact in your life. You change everyone around you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so true. People light up when there's someone who's full of joy. They light up the room. Their energy is really high. They're vibrating at a really high level, and they've got a lot of energy. And you can pretty well be sure that someone who is really full of joyful, that they don't get sick. So they have a lot of physical well-being and emotional and everything else, because their emotions aren't blocked either. So that is definitely a great place to be, is just to experience joy in everything we do. Or even for those 5 minutes, forget the phone, just find something joyful, something to experience joy in, just for 5 minutes. Love
Yes.
that. Love that. Thank you ever so much. And what about if you're emotionally exhausted? Is that the same, or do you have any other advice for someone who is just really feeling emotionally exhausted?
I would say when you feel emotionally exhausted, first of all, we need to acknowledge it, because a lot of us like now I will think about later. I have a lot of tasks to do, and we keep pouring and pouring in our heads, and no, we need to pause. And whenever you feel stressed out, it's really a matter of pausing and taking a few deep breaths. Already will have big impact. But also you need to start looking around and see what drains your energy, what keeps sucking your energy and downing your emotions. If it's something that bothering you and need to be addressed, if it's someone when you're around this person you feel drained, if it's some task that you do, and try to assess all of that and see what can I change, what in my power to change, because we really can have power around what we feel, how we react, but we cannot have power around what happens around us. It's like not our zone of responsibility. So we need to see what we can change, where we can set boundaries, where we can separate and give ourselves space and time, and also where we can maybe change our perspective. Sometimes we can be irritated, for example, by someone, but when we look from their perspective, trying to see what's going there, sometimes this change of perspective can already ease our own relationship to this situation, and we can feel less stressed. And also, easy tool that I love to do, and especially if you have a lot of tasks on your plate, is to have a small notepad or notes in your phone and take out of your head everything that buzzing there, all to-dos, all tasks, because they will not like go away like a magic when you write them down or put in a notes, but your brain will not constantly think about them, because it will know, like, okay, this information is in a safe place. I can not hold it in like constant operating memory.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's a wonder, and like I said, I just want to honour you. It's really, really a privilege to talk to you about this. And what about mindfulness? What role, or even meditation too, meditation and mindfulness, what role does mindfulness play in transforming ourselves and really well-being?
I think it's like the water for the fish, in the term that when we try achieve deep well-being, like this inner holistic way, then it's hard to live not mindful. It's hard to live not thinking about yourself, about what you're doing, how it impacts your life. And I love using meditations, and I love using guided meditations. I especially with my clients, because it's easy. It's tool that we have all access to. We don't need to go somewhere, and it's a matter of learning the techniques and tools that you can incorporate in your daily life. Because a lot of misconception around meditation is like, okay, I need to sit in a lotus pose for an hour and that is meditation. But no, you can do standing meditation, walking meditation, watching on fire meditation. Like, there's so many different type of meditation, and it could be done in 5 minutes, it could be done in 2 minutes, even 3 minutes would be beneficial. So it's just searching for the right tool for you that will fit in your schedule, in your life, and became a part of the day that you anticipate to, that you look forward to, and not thinking, oh, I forgot to meditate today, I need to spend 1 hour. No, it should be from the place that, okay, I'm excited that it will be there. And the best way is to incorporate those tools in already established routine. Like, for example, when you wake up, spend 5 minutes just connecting with yourself, grounding yourself, and running your energy. And it's already would be a much greater day than if you do not do this. I also love.
And no, you go.
Yeah, I also love this type of transition meditation, when you switch the task or switch the role. For example, you're coming home from work and you already drove in the car. Before you step in the house, just tune in and breathe for a moment and switch from, okay, I'm not a like professional or nurse or whatever your job is. Now I am a mom, or now I am a father, now I am a friend. Like, this transition, because we a lot of time carry from role to role all the baggage, and it helps us to live in the moment.
Yes, it does. And Thank you again for sharing that. I've also experienced the benefits of meditation, and it's life transforming. And I love it. It can only take a couple of minutes. We all think that we don't have the time as a generalization. A lot of people think we don't have the time. We forget that time is an illusion, that we're actually masters of time. And when we take time out for ourselves, then our concept of time extends. But I, yes, love it. And even if it's only for 60 seconds of breathing. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Thoroughly agree. And what about this concept? Like, some people believe that true well-being, being well in all areas of our lives, is really only like a luxury, and really only for people who are very privileged, live privileged lifestyles, and not for everyone else, because everyone else, has to work and and get caught up in the world. What do you think of that? Is true well-being for everyone, or is it only for people who can afford that type of lifestyle?
I will start from rhetorical question to think of. Why in our world we have billionaires who feel depressed, lonely, overwhelmed, under anxiety, stressed out? And at the same time, we have homeless people full of joy and happiness, feeling much better than those billionaires, because it's not depend on the money wealth. And I know that a lot of this misconception came from this pyramid of Maslow. Like, you need to have covered this fundamental base until you can reach self-actualization and all this higher level. But the truth is that it's not very known. That pyramid was not designed by Maslow. It was not his pyramid. He never said this in this formal way and shape. It was tractation of his thoughts by a business coach at that time. He never said it. He always said that it all can be on different level at the same time, and it's okay. And he, closer to end of his life, he spent more and more time researching of abundance, transcendence, and all that great feelings. And he never tied it to being in money, wealth, and so on. Surely, if we are hungry in the moment and our tummy is rumbling, we probably would not dream about something big. But if you're more or less okay, if you have roof, food, and you feel okay, even if you do not have roof, but you feel okay, then you can look at all areas of your life and improve one step at a time.
And it's true. When you talk about the homeless people who are full of joy, you remind me about being in India. And, the people in India, the majority of the population have nothing. When I say nothing, that's compared to Western society, right? But they're very happy. And so thank you. Yes, the people in India are full of joy and happiness, and they don't have a huge amount of wealth. And Anna, for you, in your life, because I know you're a mum, you live in today's world and everything else, but you find joy in movement, in dance and other things. Do you incorporate, or how do you incorporate that into your coaching practices in helping others?
Yeah, sure. Well, I walk all my clients through the same process I went up. And we always start from assessing where we're at, what we have, how we get here. Then we start incorporating these tiny changes, tiny joys to uplevel our energy, our state. And only from that uplevel state, we start and planning what our goals, what we want to achieve. Because I love this analogy of hill. Imagine that you are standing in front of big hill and there is one path up. Well, you do not think of where I want to go from that hill. You think about how to get on that hill. But when you uplevel your emotion, your well-being, on this like joyful ride and you're on the hill. You can start seeing all the different possibilities. You can start things that you even do not dreamed of. So only from that elevated state we put everything that we want to achieve, and we start building how we walk in there. We start assessing all embers, how I can change and shift my environment, how I can influence on my body, what can I improve there, my soul, my mind, like my relationship, because this is all interconnected. We cannot separate it, and especially mind body connection. That's why we, with my clients, sometimes we do our therapeutic techniques right on the call, because it's help us to get answers from within. And our therapeutic practice, it's not always like drawing, as a lot have this misconception. It's also a movement therapy and music therapy. It's so many different forms, and I do not have like the strict schedule of what we do with all my clients, because all tools and techniques I choose for this particular person with this particular situation, because for one would work one thing, for another. And we start like those tools that I shared, like making list of joys, incorporating it in daily lives. They all part of my journey and my work with clients. It reminded me one of my clients. When she came to me, she was barely walking outside because she worked from home. Her son was old enough to go to school by himself. So she went out like to pick up grocery once or twice a week, and that's all. And the first task that we did with her is making sure that every single day she went outside for 15 minutes. Her mind was blown away with how it changed her, how it influenced her well-being, how it improved drastically everything. And even when she was filling in review form at the end of our journey, she said, like, those emotions I will never forget for entire my life. And it's all about like small changes and assessing and addressing all areas. And I want especially like underline the environment, because we have a lot of information where how to calm our mind, how to deal with our emotions, how to deal with the relationship, but we do not talk a lot about our environment. The most common theme about environment is like organization and decluttering, but there is much more to that, because it's about how we feel in the space. It's about smells. We do not usually think about them, but smells is super important sense, and it can change our life drastically. And we just used to smells in our houses, for example, and we do not notice them. But I think you know this feeling when you went on vacation and when you step back in your house, like, oh, that's interesting smell. And in a few days you get back used to it and you do not notice it. But you can consciously change it and shift it, use essential oils, candles, real flowers, whatever feels great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you've got dogs. It's so great to get away from them, but yes, you do realise when they come back. So yes, absolutely. And I love it how you share, how, I mean, for me, moving makes such a big difference to our well-being, and especially dancing. I feel for me and a lot of people, dancing brings you joy. People find dancing, even if it's just a simple dance, it's still joyful. Thank you for sharing. And then before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to share? Is there any other questions that I could have asked you?
I just want to spread and share my message that every single one of you who will listen this know that you were chosen to be happy. Not because of your achievements, not because you did something well or bad, not because you have something or have not, but because you were born. And it's the matter of your choice to own it, claim it, and change your life in a way that will feel happy for you. Despite the social expectation, despite what is common rule of how you should live, what you should do. But this journey of going inward, searching your truth, searching your value, searching your core value that will guide you as a North Star. And start changing your life to be happy because you were chosen to be.
I love that. I love that. I can just imagine how the world would change if we all realised that we were chosen to be happy, that life is really about being happy, and it's our choice. It's our choice to how we take it. So thank you ever so much, Anna, for joining us. And for everyone who is watching or listening to this podcast, please do click on the links below and check out Anna and check out everything that Anna offers and connect with Anna, even if it's just for a chat.
Thank you for having me. I had a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you again. As we wrap up today's enlightening conversation, remember your journey to lasting well-being begins within. Anna has shared some powerful tools and insights today that can help transform your life, starting with small, mindful steps. If you have been inspired by the discussion, please remember to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. For more valuable resources on personal growth and community support, visit us at www.sacredu, that's the letter U, .love. Together, we can create a world of joy, empowerment, and lasting well-being. Thank you for joining us today, and may your journey to happiness continue to unfold with grace.